Proverbs 21 verse 30 declares, "There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord." Asterisk, this verse encapsulates a profound truth about the sovereignty, omniscience, and omnipotence of God. Let us delve deeper into its meaning, implications, and application. 1. The sovereignty of God. The verse asserts that God's authority and power are unmatched and unassailable. No matter how wise, insightful, or strategic human plans may appear, they cannot thwart God's divine purposes. This reflects the overarching biblical theme that God is the ultimate ruler of all creation. His will is final, and His plans are perfect and eternal. As Isaiah 46 verses 9 to 10 says, "I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times what is still to come. My purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please." 2. Human limitations. The verse also highlights the inherent limitations of human wisdom and understanding. While humans are capable of incredible ingenuity, their knowledge is finite and often flawed. The word wisdom here refers to human intellect and reasoning, which can never match the infinite wisdom of God. Similarly, insight denotes deep understanding or discernment, while plans imply calculated strategies or designs. Together, these words remind us that no human effort, no matter how intelligent or well-conceived, can succeed if it opposes God's will. This is a humbling truth, as it encourages us to acknowledge our dependence on God. It challenges human pride and self-reliance, which often lead people to believe they can control outcomes or dictate the course of events independently of divine influence. 3. God's invincibility. The phrase "against the Lord" emphasizes that any effort to oppose God is futile. Throughout history, we see examples of individuals, nations, and even spiritual forces attempting to resist God's plans, only to fail. Pharaoh's defiance during the Exodus, the rebellion of the Tower of Babel, and even the crucifixion of Jesus demonstrate this principle. In the case of Jesus' crucifixion, what seemed like a victory for evil was turned into the ultimate triumph of God's redemption plan through the resurrection. This truth offers reassurance to believers. Even when it seems like evil is prevailing, or when circumstances feel overwhelming, God's plan remains steadfast. His purposes will ultimately prevail, bringing justice, restoration, and peace. 4. Encouragement to trust God. This verse encourages believers to place their trust in God's wisdom and guidance rather than their own understanding. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 echoes this sentiment. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." By aligning our lives with God's will, we participate in His plans rather than working against them. It also reassures us that even when we encounter opposition or challenges, God's purposes for our lives cannot be thwarted. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, asterisk, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Asterisk. 5. Application in daily life. Humility in planning. When making decisions, we should seek God's guidance, acknowledging that His wisdom surpasses our own. James 4 verses 13 to 15 advises believers not to boast about future plans, but to submit them to God's will. Confidence in God's sovereignty. This verse reassures us that no matter what schemes or challenges we face, God is in control. This confidence allows us to walk in faith, knowing that God's purposes will prevail. Alignment with God's will. Instead of opposing God's plans, we are called to align ourselves with His purposes through prayer, scripture study, and obedience. 6. Conclusion. Proverbs 21 verse 30 is a powerful reminder of God's ultimate authority and the futility of opposing His plans. It calls us to humility, trust, and surrender, urging us to rely on His infinite wisdom and submit to His perfect will. While human plans may falter, God's purposes endure forever, offering hope and security to all who trust in Him. This truth invites us to live in alignment with God, confident that His plans for our lives are good, steadfast, and victorious.